How's up, y'all? It's popping in. It's Boss reacts to this vid by Backstory Africa. It's titled "Why African Americans Leave Africa After Moving There." This is wild. So you leave America to go to Africa and like, hey, I'm going back to the motherland. And then you get there, you're like, fuck this shit. I'm going back. That is wild. First off, I ain't never leaving. I ain't never leaving. I've talked about this before. I don't give a fuck how much Americans love to shit on our country and be like, oh, it's so terrible here. Oh my God, it's so horrible. Shootings, racism, blah, blah, blah. Every country got their shit, okay? Every country has its issues, its cons. But I prefer our cons. We have a lot of privileges here living in America. This is coming from someone who has been to a lot of countries. I've lost count at this point, but I'm pretty sure I've been to like over 30 countries at this point, and I would not live anywhere else. I love to live here. So, me personally, I ain't leaving. But sure, if y'all want to leave because y'all think the grass is greener on the other side, you get there and then you get a rude awakening because we have a lot of privileges that a lot of other countries don't have. I'm not saying we're the best of the best. I don't give a fuck what country you think is best. Good for you, cool. You love your country, great. I'm saying I love living here and I would not trade it living anywhere else on the planet. That's just me though. Anyway, yeah, let's hear what's happened with these people. Let's watch.
2019 marked the year of return and 400 years since the arrival of the first slaves to the U.S.
Listen, I dated this Ghanaian, and he was actually born in Ghana, and him and his family, they moved. Long story with that situation. Anyway, they moved when he was like 1 or 2 or something like that. And he goes to Ghana every year. He visits a lot. He has a lot of family there. His family got property there, houses, all that. But he was like, I would never live here. I would never live here permanently. And he's very familiar with Ghana. Like his people are there, his roots are there, his family is there. He's very familiar with the experience there. And he's like, fuck no, I'm not moving here. I would never. Because one of my homegirls, she asked him when we was out there, like, oh yeah, would you live here? You know, your people are here. You're Ghanaian. He was like, no, absolutely not.
Coincided with the call for African Americans to return to their homelands. And since then, thousands of black Americans have in fact been paying heed to the call and making the move to Africa. Most of the diaspora have been moving to Ghana.
And I loved Ghana. I had a great time.
Moved to places like Senegal, Ethiopia, Nigeria, Rwanda, and South Africa. The reasons for leaving the U.S. transcend an ancestral calling. For many, it's the fractured race relations and an existential trauma that exists in the African American psyche since slavery. This all came to a boiling point after the murder of George Floyd in 2020. For many, it was a wake-up call that America wasn't really where they belong, and so they packed their bags in search of more welcoming lands.
I understand that.
For many, their new home in Africa was blissful. A warmer climate, a lower cost of living, better quality food, and a sense of belonging, without the day-to-day challenges of both subtle and more overt racism that confronted them in America. However, not everybody had the soft landing they were hoping for. In this video, we'll look at why some African Americans end up returning to the U.S. after making the move to Africa. We've found that there are 4 main reasons. Keep watching until the end, as reason number 4 will surprise you. First up, no jobs.
Yeah, what the fuck? Unless you work for yourself, what you think you about to go out there and do exactly? I'm confused why anybody would go out there thinking, oh yeah, I'm gonna just get a job and if you're not already self-employed, what?
Many African Americans hold the misconception that when they arrive in whichever African country,
and then the money that they make compared to here, like,
this simply isn't the case. Unlike the U.S., jobs in most African countries are scarce, with unemployment rates sometimes being as high as 50%.
Sheesh.
Western world conveniences. A lot of the diaspora often fail to recognize how cushy their lifestyles are in the West.
This is my main reason.
Only when arriving in Africa do they realize what they've taken for granted. Simple examples include basic road infrastructure with sidewalks. A lot of African countries may have tarred roads, but often don't have sidewalks. This means that walking from A to B often isn't an option. So you find yourself driving or taking taxis everywhere. Another example is online shopping. In the US, one can buy an item on Amazon using one-click checkout and it'll be with you later that day.
Exactly.
E-commerce may well exist in Africa, but getting an item delivered to you may not be possible. This is because many parts of Africa don't have traditional addresses. The houses don't have names or numbers, and street names often don't exist. As a result, people often have to revert to providing landmark references, such as the yellow house opposite the post office next to the park.
Damn.
I wanted to make one point also. It's like, and that's getting back to food or things you purchase. I'm noticing this is what I did in the States. When I got, like, we drink almond milk or certain dairy products or certain things, I was used to them lasting, once I opened them, like 9 days. What's different here with the product we got? It lasts maybe 5. It says it on the carton just like it does in the States. But those are the things you have to look into, because when I first got here and I got the almond milk, I didn't think about it. I just started keeping it for the amount of days I was used to. And I said, oh, I need to read this and see what it says. I'm realizing it's the less amount of days. And so those are the things you have to look at too. Things that maybe you were used to getting certain products that maybe had an expiration date different in the States. It may be different here. So it's just little.
For some folks,
but even some like small things is like ordering from Amazon. I watched this lady. I want to say she's from Bulgaria or something. I forgot. She's somewhere over there. She said that she can't order from Amazon because she might not even get it at all. She said, I guess once it goes through customs or something, that she might not even end up getting it. And she said the shipping was like $40 or something. So she can't even buy shit from Amazon. Me living without Amazon, I can't imagine. So it's like, yes, our privileges that we're so comfortable with and so used to, it's like, once those are removed from you, you're going to be like, oh shit. I didn't even think about that because I'm so used to it and I'm so, comfortable with getting these privileges that when they're revoked and you move to these other countries, you're going to feel it,
Not having these Western conveniences is more important than they realized. And before long, they start to miss the comforts of American living and end up moving back. Culture. African Americans often erroneously believe that when they move to Africa, they'll fit right into the culture like a hand in a glove.
No, it's not the same.
This is very rarely the case. Although their ancestors may hail from the African country they have moved to, being so many generations removed from this country means that culturally they have very little in common with these people.
Yeah.
Don't be expecting grits and deep fried chicken in Ghana. There aren't going to be any gospel singers in Senegal. Many people in Africa have never heard of Steve Harvey and don't care. The ones who try and adapt can sometimes make it work, but culture is a complex thing which is hard to articulate into words. It's also a feeling, and sometimes that feeling for African Americans in Africa just isn't there.
Here in America, you have selected different types of foods. If you want Mexican, if you want Italian, if you want Jamaican, if you want all of these different types of foods. When you get to Africa, those areas who have that, if they have that, are going to be tremendously high to eat at.
Lack of choice. America is perhaps more the land of plenty than the land of the free. You never have a lack of choice when making a decision in America.
Yeah.
If you want to book a flight from New York to Los Angeles, you can choose from more than 6 different airlines.
Yeah.
In most African countries, you may only have one airline to choose from. If you want to furnish a house or apartment, you have a cornucopia of choice when it comes to sofas, rugs, and tables and chairs. In Africa, this choice will most certainly be more limited. The lack of choice makes things more one-dimensional and also will invariably mean that prices on goods and services will be greater.
Then you want to go ahead and buy the items that you're so used to, whether it's dishwashing liquid.
Oh, you can forget about it.
Whether it is clothing, whether it is, whether it's cleaning items, whether it is, the food, or whether any item that's got to be imported in, it is going to be a task on your pockets.
All in all, every country has its pros and cons.
Exactly.
Through trial and error, many African Americans have found a new home in Africa.
Good for them.
For some who have moved over there more flippantly, African living has often not met their expectations, and they've ended up moving back to the States. The moral of this video is to do your homework and plan effectively before deciding to up and leave the U.S. for Africa.
Facts. That goes for anywhere, honestly. Anywhere in the world. But yeah, people who want to leave and get back to their roots, I support that 1,000%. Good for you, okay? I understand the reasoning behind wanting to do that. But yes, I don't think most people consider these things. They're just like, oh yeah, I'm just up and going, everything gonna be great. We all black, so we gonna get along, and shit gonna be sweet. It's like, what? And when I travel to different countries, like, I'm not a resort type of girl, okay? So I get Airbnbs, I walk around in the neighborhoods, I'm, talking to the locals, I'm going to the local clubs, all type of shit. I'll be all up and through, they streets. So I see how they live, because sometimes you can also, visit a country and, go to a resort and you like, oh, I love it here, it's so tropical, it's lovely, it's so beautiful. But you didn't really explore the city and the area, so you don't really have a realistic idea of how it actually is. So I think that's also another issue. But of course, I support people's decision 1,000%. If you want to leave, then go. Live your best life and go to whatever country you feel is best. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think, though. Let me know what other videos you want to watch, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!